Welcome to the PWC podcast. I'm your host, as always, your mother's favorite, Vaz. And we're gonna take a look at AEW Dynamite. And hey, we had a normal name for a show, AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, that was it. That's all we had. Nothing, nada, none of it, all good. Anyway, it was a good show. It was a fantastic show, and we're going to get straight into the review for AEW Dynamite. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall commence. But before we do, you know the drill. Please subscribe, notify, tell your friends, parents, grandparents, lovers, haters, whoever you like. Let's get PWC to the heights of the millions. And millions of fans. You guys can do it. Let's do it. To the review. And AEW kicked off with some trios action. We had Dante Martin and the Sindel brothers taking on the Elite. We had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in that trio match, and it was a weird one. It was really left field booking there. Like, I didn't expect Sindel or anyone like that to have a chance, and I didn't expect Omega and them to open up a show against someone like who hasn't had any sort of TV time at all on Dynamite in a long time. But hey, listen, this was a fantastic match. It was super fun to watch. Something I'll give credit to the Young Bucks. They do put on entertaining multi-man matches. The tag team stuff I find very boring. I find very predictable. But yeah, this was not bad at all. I enjoyed it. I loved the ending. I thought it was, well, clearly we knew it was going to go over in this one. I never expected anything else, so that was good. And then Don Callis coming out, and well, guess what? We got Rampage's main event set in stone. Done. Christian Cage taking on Kenny Omega. They're not going to hold up to All Out. They're going to do it at Rampage and its debut show, so that's something to look forward to. And on top of that, we're also going to get a tag team match with Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team title. So three title matches actually at Rampage already set up. So the debut show is already looking stacked, and that's the way we look. Loving it, I guess. And yeah. Bring on Rampage already. I'm excited for Friday. I'm excited. Let's do it already. For this match though, what a good way to start off AEW. It was a solid opening segment. It was great. We then had back to the ring for some singles action. We had Darby Allin taking on Daniel Garcia. Of course, Garcia had 2.0 at ringside. Of course, Sting accompanied Darby Allin at ringside. And you know what? A decent match in the end. But nothing's touching Darby Allin at the moment. The man is so hot, and if he takes a loss right now, it's just going to kill his momentum solidly. Good, picked up the victory. As for 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, I hate to say this, but I think 2.0 is going in the same direction that Ever-Eyes went when they were working as Ever-Eyes in WWE, and it's not looking good for the tandem. It looks bleak for them, but again, they haven't had the opportunities, let's put it like that, to showcase what they really are about. And unfortunately for AEW, I like to boast that their tag team division is so stacked, and it is stacked, but the problem is no one cares about a stacked division when the only focus you get on the division is the Young Bucks at the moment. I mean, they've just run riot through this division, and it's a bit sad because, you know, when AEW premiered and stuff like that, we were all super excited for this division because, you know, Young Bucks are like running it. They had the FTR came in there, you know, they had the Good Brothers helping them. There was a lot of big tag teams coming in there, a lot of good young tag team guys that were coming up, like Best Friends, like the Major Players, whatever they were called. There was a few big ones coming through, and we were excited. We were like, yes. And then we've just gotten Young Bucks to destroy anything and everything that is the tag team division. And it really had a stranglehold on it. And I get it. You know, Khan says he doesn't like frequent title changes. He likes guys to have a lengthy run as a champion. But the question is, how much of a lengthy run do the Young Bucks actually need as a champion? It's the same can be said for Kenny Omega. Does he really need to be the AEW champion? Or was he already over enough that he didn't need to be the champion? He didn't need to be the belt collector, as they're putting him. So yeah, maybe a little bit of bias coming through, since they basically some of the shareholders of the company. They're the ones who started it, them and Cody Rhodes. I don't know. It's a catch-22, I guess. You want to be the centerpiece of the tag team division. In the same breath, you want to build a tag team division, but you need yourselves to do it. So I guess that's their thinking behind that one. But I digress. Darby Allin picked up the victory after a coffin drop on Daniel Garcia in the end to pick up another victory. We then had some more trios action. That's the second one of the night, and it's something AEW does as well. It is put multi-man matches to the top, and I love it. So we had the best friends, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Wheeler Yuta, who I am loving, by the way. I'm really, really, really enjoying Wheeler Yuta. Good young prospect. In fact, everybody of the best friends is really impressing me lately. And they were taking on the Matt Hardy office. We had Matt Hardy himself with a private party. And yeah, a good solid trios match. Listen, you put Orange Cassidy in anything and it's going to be fantastic. It's good to see Matt Hardy moving away from Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. That was getting a little bit stale, and I'm glad after their blow-off match they done. And this sets up a potential feud as well between the two different factions. Of course, everything in AEW is faction-oriented and everybody just wants to fight with everyone. But anyway, yeah, solid match. They picked up the victory, the best friends, and it was a good fun match to watch. Again, AEW knows how to do trio matches, and they do them well. So well done to them. And again, thoroughly enjoyed it. Another segment which I just went, I'm loving it. I am loving it. On to some more action. Probably the lowest point. Did I say best friends won? My bad. Sorry. I wanted them to win. Matt Hardy office won. Yeah. Okay, sorry. It's been a long week, guys. It's been a long week. So much wrestling to get through for you guys. Whew. Alright, moving on. So we had the women's match, and this unfortunately was probably one of the lower points in AEW tonight. It didn't make sense to me at all. We had Nyla Rose taking on Chris Standler, and you know what? It felt like a squash match. But it's not a squash match that you think would have happened, because we all assumed maybe Chris Standler was going to get destroyed by Nyla Rose. She was the first ever AEW champion. She's, quite big. She's just recovered from an injury, so she's coming back. Chris Standler coming from an injury, coming back. It was a terrible booking decision to have two returning athletes really coming back and trying to showcase that they should be in line for Britt Baker's title. And it felt a little bit weird in the sense that Chris Standler went over, and so emphatically as well. It was a solid powerbomb that just took Nyla Rose out, and I guess it puts Standler in a position where she can now start getting a little bit more progressive and getting a bit stronger. And it's hopefully a good sign to come in the women's division, because at the moment it is so wow, that's how bad it is. I mean, when you have to have, and no disrespect to Red Velvet, but when you need to have Red Velvet in your main event or your main feud with the champion, a feud that literally has lasted maybe 3-4 days, if that, I don't know, it feels like it just started 2 weeks ago or something, and it's a house already accumulating to a title opportunity. To be honest, Red Velvet hasn't done much to earn a title shot, but anyway, just because she's part of the Nightmare family, I guess she gets that opportunity. I think the big draw is that they just don't have the talent in the women's division right now to challenge someone as... And you know what? The thing is, Britt Baker is actually not that good in the ring. She's all right in the ring. She's improved a lot on the mic, which is what's her saving grace. But in the ring, she's pretty average if you compare her to any other woman in the current division, the current landscape. You look at WWE's women's champion in Bianca Belair. She's a much better in-ring performer than Britt Baker. And I don't like Bianca Belair, but she's a good, solid performer. And then you've got the likes of Charlotte Flair, who's fantastic. You have Rhea Ripley, who's great. You have a lot of stars. Sasha Banks, Bayley, Carmella. These are all established people in the ring. Yes, they might not be as good as Britt on the mic, but you're going to have a solid character in the ring if you want to be a champion. And this is a testament to just, they don't have that in AEW. They've got Nyla Rose, who all right in the ring. Chris Stanley, all right in the ring. Thunder Rosa, who in my opinion should be having at least another opportunity or something, get her a little bit more thing. She's fantastic. Bunny as well, who's very underrated in the women's division and just doesn't get the opportunities that I feel like she gets. And instead of maybe focusing on signing all these former WWE stars, like, and trying to get them over in AEW, guys like, all the rumors now going around with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman and these guys trying to come in. Why not try to invest that into the women's division? Pick up one of the women's. Chelsea Green was available and they didn't pick her up. And Chelsea Green, in my opinion, is a solid in-ring performer. She was fantastic in NXT. Unfortunately, never got on the right push on the main roster. She was great as Laurel Van Ness in Impact before that. She's a fantastic worker. There's a few guys that WWE's let go over the years, especially from the NXT side, and they just haven't taken that. Santana Garnet, great in-wing athlete. Should have brought him in, but they haven't, and they're not bolstering. They're relying on average superstars because I don't think they care about the women's division, and that's a sad thing. And that's a rant. You gotta have one at least per review. Cool. Okay, Stand-Up pick up the victory. I might have said that. I'm not sure. Then, speaking of the women's division, we had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in the ring, talking about her title match at Rampage. 4 titles at Rampage. 4 title opportunities at Rampage. Yeah, that sounds like a pay-per-view, guys. It really does. Anyway, we're going to get Britt Baker taking on Red Velvet. And if anything, this was fantastic from Britt Baker, as always, when it comes to promo work. But Velvet stepped up. Now, we haven't seen much of Velvet on live TV and things like that. Yes, she wrestles a lot on Dark, and not a lot of people, unfortunately, watch Dark. It's decent to watch, but I would love to watch it every week. But, guys, the amount of wrestling that I'm watching this week is ridiculous, guys. Literally, like, Thursday is the only day that I don't have to watch. I'm sorry, Fridays are the only days that I don't actually have to watch any wrestling because I don't have any reviews. But, guys. Wow, it's 6 shows at the moment that I'm watching. Anyway, I'm digressing. So she's been having a couple of dog matches. She's obviously improved a lot. The fact that they're trusting her now to be in a title contention. And you know what? This time she doesn't have Cody Rhodes or Shaquille O'Neal, whoever else it is, to protect her. Jade Cargill, to protect her from what can happen. And this could actually expose Red Velvet to not being as non-green as they hope. Personally, I don't see Britt losing it to Red Velvet. I think this is just a fact to get another title opportunity on Rampage. Just, bolster that card up. And it's either going to go one of 2 ways. Either A, there's going to be a shock and Red Velvet wins it, and then all of a sudden, whoa, hello women's division. Or B, Britt Baker's going to win it and then we forget Red Velvet even challenged her for the title. Because at this point in time, there's been so many people that have challenged her for the title that we don't actually even know who her main rival is. Like it seems like every 2-3 weeks there's someone new fighting Britt Baker for the title, and it's someone that has no sort of credibility in. I know they use that rank system and all that sort of stuff, but it really just feels like they just chuck a whole bunch of females and Britt Baker and just hope one of them stick in the terms of chemistry. We then had some gold on the line, albeit from Impact Wrestling. It was the Good Brothers, the tag team champions, taking on 2 members of the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. And so there's actually a thing I'm going to talk about on the rumor mill, which should be out tomorrow. If you're watching this on Thursday evening, should be out on Friday, the 13th. Ooh. Yeah. So there's a big thing I'm going to talk about, and it concerns quite a bit of Tony Khan's booking philosophy when it comes to his AEW shows. And it seems like there has to be some sort of championship match almost every week in AEW. And this is something that Tony has addressed and is liking. So expect to see at least one title opportunity per show that he releases on live TV. Not per pay-per-view, just straight up live TV. And it's drawing point. We've had the IWGP Championship on the line, the US title. We've had the tag team titles on the line a few times. We've had the TNT title on the line. Now we're getting the Impact Wrestling title on the line. And you know what? Even if it's the FCW title, it's still been on the line during a weekly show. So it clearly shows that Tony wants to push these championship matches, albeit just, hazy ones nonetheless. But in essence, this one was a good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Uno and Grayson are very underrated as a tag team duo when it comes to the Dark Order. And I think, I never expected them to pick up a victory. I don't understand the logic behind this one. They literally attacked them on Impact and then got a chance to have a title opportunity, but they weren't worthy enough to fight the Young Bucks, but they fought other members of the Elite, and it's a very weird little booking system that they've got here. But you've got to feel for the Dark Order, because they've literally been, since, and I guess it's no fault of their own, but since Mr. Brody Lee's passing away, they've really looked like just a shadow of what they could have been. And even with Paige coming in and helping them, trying to be a better unit, they don't feel like a proper faction. They don't feel like the Dark Order ought to feel. And maybe the likes of Bray Wyatt, if he does, the rumors are true, and he does pop over to AEW, maybe he can resurrect what is, the whole thing about it. And I've lost interest in the Dark Order. There was such a cool faction coming up. It was a different faction. It was something that we hadn't seen in WWE, or in wrestling rather, not WWE, in wrestling for a long, long time. And in fact, it's something that Retribution on WWE should have been, but it wasn't. And I think they've done it right in the start, but they really are doing the Dark Order very dirty at the moment. And I'm angry about it. But hey, what can I do when the Young Bucks run your tag team division? Everyone gets buried. We then had an in-ring segment with Tony Schiavone, where we had QT Marshall, Solo, and Comoroto in the ring, and they attacked him. They attacked Schiavone's son, and who else but... I wanted to do it, but I can't. No BS, remember? No BS. Paul Wright comes for the save and rescues Schiavone and his kid in the ring, chasing off the assailants. Let's put them as that. And a good segment to set up Paul Wright in the AEW thing. We hadn't seen a lot of him since his debut. A lot of guys just expected he'll come through as a commentator. He is commentating on Elevation. He's also one of the head bookers for Elevation. I think it is AEW Elevation or something, Dark Elevation, something like that. I don't know, one of the YouTube shows. And he's doing a decent job there, so it's time to bring him onto the main roster, get him a couple matches, because that's what they do. I love it. I do. I was always a huge Big Show fan. I love Big Show. I don't care how many times he turned in a week. The fact remains he was fantastic, and he's a great wrestler. He was great in WCW. His little cameo in Waterboy was even better. Captain Insano, fantastic. Paul Wright is, I've even watched the Netflix show, The Big Show thing, and that was cuck, but I enjoyed it, so that's cool. Anyway, I love Big Show, so that's cool. Nice to see him get in the ring. Maybe we get some action. We then got some main event from the GOAT himself, Chris Jericho, taking on Wardlow in the fourth task of Jericho, labor of Jericho. And he had, of course, what's his name? MJF at ringside with him as a special referee. It was a hard hit, man. There's a lot of times where I thought, this might be it. But, Y2J pulls out a miracle, picks up the victory. It was fantastic. It was a good match. It was a lot better than his previous two, in my opinion, when the labors of Jericho. I mean, his match against Nick Gage, I think, speaks for itself, albeit a different style of wrestling, not my style. It wasn't great. And the match against Guerrero, Guerrero took maybe place 10 years too late. Yeah, those guys both looked old and solid. But this match was good. It highlighted everything that Chris Jericho can do. It highlighted what a solid heel Wardlow is. And, it amplified the hatred that fans have for MJF, which is exactly what you want in this situation. After the match, though, we had Shawn Spears come out and attack Chris Jericho. And then Sammy Guevara made the save. And then MJF announced that at Rampage, we're going to get the 5th and final labor of Jericho. It will be Chris Jericho taking on MJF in the final labor of Jericho. With the stipulation, Jericho is not allowed to use the Judas effect, and he will not have his entrance music of Judas coming to the ring. According to him, I'm guessing that hypes Chris Jericho up a lot. I'm looking forward to it. This Rampage, you know what, like, the way they just building this show up, it's got this pay-per-view, it's got like almost a WrestleMania-esque feed to it, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. I'm excited for him. We're getting 4 title matches. We're getting Chris Jericho and MJF. Probably going to get Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black at some point on that show as well, which is something they want. We'll have to wait and see. But that's what's going to happen on Friday. What's happening now? It is the vast scale of AEW Dynamite. And like I said at the top of the show, it was a fantastic show. I liked it. One little draw point, and that was the women's match with Nyla Rose and Chris Stadler. There we go. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Yeah, everything else was fantastic. I loved it. The promos were good. The in-ring action was good. The opening match of the trios was fantastic. And I don't say that a lot about Young Bucks matches, and I enjoyed that one. And of course, Chris Jericho closing off the show, as always, is, call me a mark, whatever. But on the vast scale, it gets a 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. And again, mainly because of the women's match and how they're treating the women's division. I don't like how that's all planning out, and it's really it's like a sucker punch to the show sometimes. When you see Britt Baker come out and you she's going to give you that promo, and then you realize who her opponent is, and you're like, that's like, in terms of like, massive wrestling fans, if you think back to the 80s, right, and you knew you knew Hulk Hogan was the champion, and you knew Hulk was going to like announce his next opponent, and he was going to be like, and you were hoping for like, Macho Man or Warrior or someone of that caliber in his time, and you're like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And you get Doink the Clown instead, not like a Yokozuna or someone. You get Doink, or you get Honky Tonk Man, or someone of that caliber. Not to take that they weren't bad wrestlers, but they weren't at the top of the card, you know what I mean? And that's what it feels like, the women's division, every single time Britt Baker comes out. You're like, yes, who are we gonna get? And then you get put against Red Velvet, who's had 2 AEW appearances on Dynamite. That's it. It's going to knock you down. And then you have a women's match, which means absolutely nothing in the long term of things, because both are not in any position to challenge Britt Baker for the title. So what's the point of even having a have-that match on Dark, rather? Build them up on Dark properly. Maybe Rampage gives an opportunity for the women's division to shine a little bit more, because they can move some of the talent there and showcase the woman talent with more hours on TV. From me, though, your mother's favorite podcaster, as always, it's awesome hosting for you guys. We'll chat again soon. Please leave your comments down below. And don't forget to click subscribe and notify yourselves of all the awesome content that we bring for you right here on the PWC. From me though, peace and your chicken grease.